Third man syndrome. The third man syndrome is a phenomenon experienced by some individuals who find themselves in extreme situations or high-stress environments, such as mountaineering, polar exploration, or being trapped in confined spaces. It is characterized by the feeling that a presence, a third person, is with them, even though no one else is physically present. This phenomenon was first described by Sir Ernest Shackleton, a British explorer who led a team on an Antarctic expedition in the early 1900s. Shackleton wrote about feeling the presence of a third man during his team's desperate struggle for survival, even though there were only 2 people with him. The third man syndrome is thought to be a coping mechanism that the brain uses to deal with extreme stress and isolation. Some researchers believe that it may be related to the brain's ability to create mental images of other people as a way of managing stress and fear. The third man syndrome has been reported by many individuals in extreme situations, including mountain climbers, sailors, prisoners, and soldiers. While it is not fully understood, it is considered a normal response to an abnormal situation and is generally seen as a positive sign of the brain's ability to cope with stress. Is third man syndrome true? Yes, the third man syndrome is a real phenomenon experienced by some individuals in extreme or high-stress situations. It has been reported by many people who have been in life-threatening or highly stressful situations, such as explorers, mountaineers, prisoners, and soldiers. While the third man syndrome is not fully understood, it is widely recognized by researchers as a real phenomenon. It is thought to be a coping mechanism that the brain uses to deal with extreme stress and isolation. Studies have shown that people who experience the third man syndrome tend to have higher levels of stress hormones, which supports the idea that it is a physiological response to stress. It's important to note that not everyone who experiences extreme stress or isolation will have the third man syndrome, and it is not a reliable indicator of mental health or stability. However, for those who do experience it, it can be a powerful and helpful coping mechanism in difficult and dangerous situations. Scientific evidence of third man syndrome. There is some scientific evidence to support the existence of the third man syndrome, although research in this area is limited. One study published in the journal Wilderness and Environmental Medicine in 2010 surveyed 15 individuals who had experienced the third man syndrome during extreme expeditions. The study found that all 15 individuals reported feeling a sense of presence or companionship, and most described the experience as comforting and helpful in coping with the stressful situation. Another study published in the Journal of Psychiatric Research in 2012 used functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, to investigate brain activity in individuals who reported experiencing the third man syndrome. The study found that there was increased activity in certain areas of the brain associated with social cognition and self-referential processing, suggesting that the experience may involve the creation of a mental image of another person as a way of coping with stress and isolation. While these studies provide some evidence for the existence of the third man syndrome, more research is needed to fully understand this phenomenon and its underlying mechanisms. Additionally, the subjective nature of the experience makes it difficult to study scientifically, and it is likely that individual factors such as personality, past experiences, and cultural background may influence whether or not someone experiences the third man syndrome in a given situation. Why is it called third man syndrome? The term third man syndrome was first coined by Sir Ernest Shackleton, a British explorer who led an Antarctic expedition in the early 1900s. Shackleton and 2 of his crew members were stranded in the Antarctic for several months after their ship was trapped in ice and eventually sank. During this time, Shackleton reported feeling the presence of a third man with them, even though there were only 3 people in the group. Shackleton later wrote about this experience in his book, South, and the term third man syndrome was later used to describe similar experiences reported by others in extreme or high-stress situations. The name reflects the sense of an additional presence that individuals may experience, even when there is no actual physical person present.